super talented actress and director starring in the Amazon series Harlem. Please welcome the beautiful Megan Good. Come on. Isn't she beautiful, y'all? Oh my goodness. So you feel the love. We love you so much.
Feel the love. I do. I appreciate it, y'all.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for being here. Wow. So you've been acting like almost like your whole life, right?
Pretty much. I started at like 4 years old as a hobby, and then by the time I was 13 is when I was like, okay, no, I'm serious about this.
Wow.
I want to make this my career.
And you got your first speaking role at 12?
Yes. Actually, well, yeah, 12, 13. It was in Friday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is such a classic. Like, what do you remember from it?
Oh man, I remember it was F. Gary Gray's first film. He was 25.
25?
Oh yeah, he was a baby, and you know, everything was crazy, a little bit disorganized. So I was on set for like 2.5 weeks before I ever even got on camera. And I remember just I used to make tuna sandwiches for Tiny Lester, and I remember, and so Michael Clark Duncan was actually Tiny Lester's stand-in. And rest in peace to both of those sweet babies.
Yes.
And I remember I would make tiny sandwiches, and one day Michael was like, "Where's my sandwich?" I said, well, you didn't ask me to make you one. He was like, well, I will take one. I was like, okay, I'll make you one. He said, let me tell you something. And I said, yeah. He said, remember, from this point on in your career, make sure that you always treat everybody exactly the same. You know, he was like, you look them in the eye, you make them feel seen, and you treat everybody the same. And that really stuck with me as a kid, and I've always done that since day one. And, you know, to me, I feel like being kind is an authentic thing for me, and I feel like authenticity is my superpower, so I just try to love on people even, you know, when they're not that nice.
Yeah.
I feel like that's important.
You know what? I feel like that goes hand in hand to something I always say. One of my directors told me, it's not always about how good you are, but how good you are to work with.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine that's why you've had such longevity. You know what I mean? Because you're always so kind and good to everybody. Yeah. That makes a huge difference. Okay. So you work with one of my ultimate favorite people ever, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And I love me some Snoop Dogg too.
Yeah.
When you was in the movie DayShift?
I was in DayShift, man. That was one of those things. Shout out to my brother, Jatari Turner, as well, but who produced it. But it was one of those things where a vampire movie was like on my bucket list. And Jamie went to bat for me. JJ went to bat for me, and to be able to get a chance to work with him was like amazing. He's such a light. He's such a sweet spirit. Snoop, I love. I've known him for years. Love to pieces. And so yeah, you know, they're saying that it's looking like it might be a trilogy. So I'm like, you know, I'm over here doing my little Thai bow and my Muay Thai and my capoeira. Because I'm trying to get in on the action. I'm trying to be Blade part.
Oh, that is awesome. Wow, you got some good roles, honey. Playing the superhero in Shazam?
Yeah.
Oh my God. How did that feel?
Oh man, you know what's crazy is this is one of those things that was like, God just came all the way through. I was like, I want to be in the Marvel DC, like I want to be a superhero. I want for little black girls to be able to see themselves. Because, you know, there wasn't enough of us at that time. And so I was sitting on the couch, I'm eating a little chip, and at the time when Vaughn and I were married, he said, well, what are you doing to meet God halfway? And I said, well, faith without works is dead. Where are my works? Because I have the faith.
Yeah.
So I started working out from that point forward, 5 days a week, an hour and a half a day with my trainer, Mike T. And about a year and a half later, I go in for this audition. And it's funny because I made this video as an affirmation video. This was before.
So you spoke it into existence?
Yes, I literally, and that's my pose, my superhero dollar pose too. But I did this, and the video says, "Believe all things are possible." And I did this while I was working out. And then I get this audition, and they're like, "You're going to be like a 10-year-old." I was like, "Well, what is it for?" And they're like, "You just have to be like a kid." I was like, "Well, that's easy." So I go in there, I do the audition. 2 weeks later, they called me and they're like, "You got the job." I was like, "Great. What is it?" And they're like, it's Shazam. And I was like with Shaquille O'Neal. They were like, "No, Shazam." And I was like, "Listen to that?" And they were like, "No." So then I went, I researched, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, she literally is a 10-year-old little girl. Little girls can literally see themselves in this character because she is them."
Yes.
You know?
Oh, I love it so much. Wow. Oh, and you got to meet your personal show business hero.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh my goodness, I love Halle Berry so much.
I love her too.
Like, I do. She is.
Don't you love her?
I just do. And it's funny, it was the week that I was getting married. I saw her at this restaurant, and I was like, "Oh, should I say something?" I was like, "No, I don't want to bother her." And I was like, "Maybe I should. Okay, I'm going to say something when she gets done eating." And I went over to her, I was like, "Hi." I was like, "I'm Megan." And she was like, "I know who you are." Wow. And I was like, "Oh." And I was like, "I love you so much. Like, you've been such an inspiration to me. I know that you've gone through so many things, like, publicly and privately and in your career, and you're just so strong, blah, blah." And then she was just like, and she got emotional, and then I got emotional. First I got emotional, then she got emotional because I got emotional. And she just was so sweet. And then, like, 2 years later, she started following me on Instagram, and she comments on my pictures, and we share the same makeup artist. Shout out to Jorge back there. And he was saying, you know, that she was like wanting to know if she'd reach out to me when I was going through my divorce. And so I was just like, that's really sweet that, you know, that there was a lot of support and love.
She's one of a kind. That is for sure. I can relate. Your first major role was in East Bayou. What was it like working with the cast?
Oh man, East Bayou. It's crazy because originally I did the table read when I was 10, and I was playing Eve. And so I thought the movie was going to like start shooting next week. So I would call Casey and be like, "Hey, Miss Casey, when do we start shooting?" She's like, "Oh, honey, we're raising the money." So a year goes by. I'm like, "Hey, Miss Casey, when are we doing the movie?" She's like, "We're still raising the money." Cut to 4 years later, I'm like, "Well, now I'm 14. I was like, I have to play Cicely. I have to play Cicely. So when Journey came off of Full House, they gave her own TV show. And Miss Janet, her mom, said, "We got to put all my kids in the show." So the show was called On Our Own. And I came on that show as a guest star. So when Journey came into the audition, I was like, "Oh, she's so good. This is going to be great." Because we know what it is to have sisters. And, you know, and so, yeah. And so we had this, like, kind of just amazing audition. And then when she left, Casey was like, "It's going to be her. And I'm just going to find our Poe." And I was like, "You know, she has a little brother named Jake that's the same exact age as Poe." And she was like, "What?" So she went out there to inquire about him, and he was sitting in the lobby. So we all got to, you know, do it together. And then they left, and I just told Miss Casey, I was like, "Yeah, I gotta use the bathroom." So I run down the street, and I chased their van, I'm big on that van, and Miss Jen was like, what? I was like, "They got the job, I just wanted you to know." I was like, "I didn't want y'all to have to wait, you know?" So yeah.
Will you stick around and hang out a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so happy you're here. Oh, baby, we'll be right back. Show deals.
I couldn't stop repaying all my costs, that's right. Y'all catch that? I went for a run this morning back over. But does that mean that you regret kissing Ian this way? No, I just don't want Ian and I to start again under the shadow of all this chaos, you know? I can't even imagine how upset his parents are with me. Did I quit my job last night? What? Wait, Quinn, you told me to quit my job last night. How much did y'all have to drink? Why are you giving up on rent? I can fix this. All you need is a taxi.
Talk to us about the hit show Harlem and who you play.
Harlem is a show about 4 women in their 30s trying to navigate life and relationships and sex and careers and everything. And it has been like such a blessing to be a part of this show because I love these girls. I do. It's so crazy because Grace and I, we had met a few years prior. And literally, I did this sit and sip show that she does. And when we were done, we talked for like 3 hours. She was like, "Man," she's like, "I wish we could do a show together." I was like, "No, me too, girl." Cut to 2 years later, I go in, and I meet on Camille. I don't hear anything for 2 weeks. I hear that they're auditioning other people. And I'm like, well, can I come in and audition? They're like, you want to audition? I'm like, yes, I want to fight for this character. And I remember I called Grace and I was like, Grace. She was like, bitch, I tell you about it now. I was like, yes. And so we studied together. We like literally studied the scenes, practiced what we were gonna do, planned everything out for the audition, down to like some twerking we did at the end together. And then going to the audition, Tracy said that she saw that Camille in her mind would have like braids. So I sat through 11 hours of braids for my audition, and then I called Regina Hall and I was like, girl, help me because I think that you are the best. And she was like, oh my God, I would love to. She was like, but you don't need it. I was like, no, but girl, I'm trying to glean everything, and I appreciate that I can even call you. She's like, I appreciate that you even wanted to call me. And it's so funny, I think it gave her more joy to help me, you know? So anyway, so we had that moment, we ran it. She gave me one thing that I was like, ooh, this might work in the audition, and I did an audition. And then when I got there, I ran into Shaniqua, and she's like, do you remember me? I was like, from where? And she was like, 5 years ago, we were on FaceTime together. You were working on Minority Report with a mutual friend of mine, and I said to you, one day we're going to do a show together. And you said, we're going to claim it in Jesus' name, and we touched and agreed on the FaceTime. And I was like, wait, what, that was you? So then we ended up in the bathroom, like, crying and praying over each other that we both get the job, and then walked in, met Jared Johnson, and Jared Johnson was in force, and I was just like, I love this girl. And from the moment that I left there, it was a done deal, and it has been my quality of life. Because when you do a TV show, you're there for like 5 months, so you're not going to work, you're going to do life, and you're doing life with
so true. Yeah,
and you want your quality of life to be amazing, and mine is so amazing with them and Tracy and Scott and Mimi and everybody. I just love all of it.
That is beautiful. Listen, honey, you speak everything into existence. That's amazing. Do you feel like you have similarities to your character at all?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a nerd. Camille is like, she's very quirky, a little bit offbeat. She's definitely the girl that like tells a joke. Everyone's like, that is my entire life. So it's fun to play a character that is a lot more like me than people would know. And I think that's initially why they thought I probably wasn't right for Camille, because I played like the love interest and the girl next door, And I'm like, no, I'm a nerd, you guys, you don't understand. I'm so awkward. And so it's been amazing. Wow.
I love that. The show deals with various mental health issues.
Yeah.
Why is that important to you, for our communities?
Because I think that I think we're starting to talk about it more now, but I think that there is so much mental health crisis going on, especially after the pandemic, but really, especially as Black people, because of what is constantly going on in the world, damn near every day. And then also the way that you show up in the world, from microaggressions to, even like with Shazam, like in order for me to get that job, I had to show up a certain way. I had to be, working out for a year and a half to even get that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important that we talk about these things and we encourage each other, and we say that there's no shame. You know what I'm saying? And if you need medication, if you need support, if you need therapy, and then also just conversations about what's happening in the medical field and how women are, being overlooked. There's a young lady passed away the other day. She was having her second baby. I think she was like 27, and she told them that something's going on. They're like, you're okay. And she passed away, and you look at like what Serena Williams went through, and it's like, it's constantly the attitude of, well, you're strong. Yes, we are strong, but that doesn't mean that we don't need to be taken care of too,
Oh my God. Thank you so much for being here. You're one of our heroes, sheroes. You are everything. We love you so much. Will you come back again and see us?
I will.